Hello again, YouTube. This is The Truth, man. Give you the truth. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Y'all know we deal with no matrix stuff. We deal with behaviors, situations, circumstances that when you learn how to handle them, you escape the matrix. Now, on this first, we starting a new series now. We ain't quite done with the Jezebel series. We'll never be done with Isaiah 4:1. But we're going to start a new series dealing with modern day people. We talk about modern day women. We're going to extend it to the men as well and call this series dealing with modern day people. Dealing with people. This is part one. And part one is entitled The Power of Ignoring People. See, these modern day people, they don't know when to do it. A person could be kicking straight facts and knowledge and they ignore that. But then you say something that defies immorality and immoral behaviors that set standards and provide structure. Now they rise up like little dragons. Well, I'm gonna start calling them little dragons. You got a big dragon, which is Satan, and you got her little dragons just all over the place. All over the place. Now, yeah, I know I got rumble, so I'm gonna say some things, but I'm not gonna go into details because YouTube likes to censor some people, and I'm one of them. So, the power of ignoring people. You can't let people bring you down to a lower frequency. You gotta work your way up to a higher frequency. And higher frequencies equal escaping the matrix. See, all the people that's trapped in the matrix are low frequency. That's why they abuse drugs. That's why they abuse each other. That's why the murder rate is so high. All these low frequency people that think they dress nice and think the solution is getting haircuts, and women think if they just keep it clean down there, which means nothing, that don't take away stink. I know some dudes like a little stink, but I'm just saying, people always fall short or go too far because they don't know when to stop. Like, I just had to mute somebody last night who doesn't know me at all, don't know my family at all. Trolls will try to get on your nerve. You got trolls at your job. You're going to have trolls and social media. And most of them not going to show their face. And a lot of them are actually YouTubers on little alternate accounts. Like, you say something they don't like, they go on their troll account, try to come at them. That's how they do. Oh, there he is right there. There he is right there. It's almost like a dude that trying to pull up on you, slide on you with his face fully covered so you can't return the favor in terms of street thuggery. That's the equivalent of a troll being in these videos in the comments and you don't know who they are, but they looking at your face though. That's cowardly. That's cowardly behavior. And like I said, don't try to muzzle nobody. Like, the temptation be there to report people, stuff like that. Just make it where you can't see what they saying. That's all. Like, it's freedom of speech. Make it where you can't see what they say. But when you're a YouTuber, you got to watch your back out here. Like, because you never know when you're going to come up across one of these trolls. And they're going to recognize you right away. But you ain't going to recognize them because they got their face covered up like a coward. That's what cowards do. You know, cover their face up to do stuff that they know they wouldn't get away with if the person or the situation knew who they were. Coward. So You got to know when to ignore people. When you got that coworker who, for some reason, do not like you, always trying to go back and forth with you, so on and so forth. If you're going to do that job, if you're not going to quit, just ignore them. That's the only other option. It's the only other option. If it's work related, respond only in terms of the work that needs to be done. Don't have personal conversations with them, because you shouldn't have personal conversations with people who don't like you. Never. And you should never let them hear you talking to somebody else about personal things, about life things. I made that mistake in Texas, and it messed up everything. But I know now, because sometimes you gotta fail to succeed. You gotta make a mistake to learn what not to do. So I made that mistake before, and I've been very careful since then. It gets hard when you work with a lot of people, but I've been very, very careful since then. I've mainly been self-employed, doing 1099 work, which makes it a whole lot easier. But even with the customers, keep it shallow. They talking a lot. You meet them with their level of conversation. If they not saying nothing, keep it short. They probably don't want to talk. That's fine. It's about business anyway. Don't be at work getting upset because people ain't talking to you. Forget them. They just coworkers. Don't learn the hard way like I had to. You start talking, it's gonna always be somebody that don't agree with what you're saying. So don't keep it shallow. Talk about, if you see something that they talk about a lot, like across the job, just like a shallow subject, just talk about that. Sports, whatever. Movies, I'm going to see that. That's fine. Be polite. Don't let it be known that you could care less about them. Just be careful in what you say. And when your boss is always picking, either you leave the job, you set yourself up to be able to leave the job soon, or you ignore them. Simple as that. You should always save money in case you have a super petty, childish manager, owner, boss who don't like you and they're trying to fire you for no reason. Now you got your money saved up. File your unemployment. Look for something else. This is why you should always, I don't care if you're a brain surgeon, if you ain't got $100,000 in the bank, I don't care where you work, you should not be working one job. You should either have two jobs, a job and side hustle, or a job and multiple side hustles. Because when you start escaping this matrix, you're going to see how people is, and you're going to understand that you working one job, you putting yourself at risk, because these people are evil and they don't want you to have anything. You ever notice how sometimes you buy a new car and the people who you don't talk to that much or you don't get along with that much, they ain't gonna look at your car, but the person they like, they gonna be all up in their car. What they gonna do, because they don't like you, you start looking too prosperous, coming to work too fresh, too fly, nice car, so on and so forth, they gonna start telling on you. They gonna start picking with you. I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it, but I also seen it. It was this guy from Chicago I used to work with in Waukesha. He used to get under their skin on purpose because he knew that them co-workers was racist and they didn't like how he had all that money practically dressing brand new clothes every day. He said, I do it on purpose, man. He had that raspy. He said, man, I do it to him on purpose. And they was mad that he had a 98 Buick Roadmaster that was like a new car. He had a good mechanic. I said, man, I need your mechanic, man. You couldn't even hear it. It started up. It's like when it was brand new. Everybody know how Buicks is. Buicks will run smooth. You can say what you want, call it a granddaddy car. Anybody that's looking for a used car, you got to consider Buicks, because them Buicks be having that 3400 engine, that 3800, and the more you do to that engine, the more that's going to be like a new car. I'm telling you, that's why to this day, I'm still mad about my Park Avenue. I was trying not to have a car note, but these mechanics in Milwaukee is scumbags, dweebs, morons, idiots, bands. I ain't gonna say the word. You figure it out what a pan is. It's a 3-letter phrase ending with ninja. I don't want to say it, but I'm thinking it, so I'm gonna keep it real. That's how most of these mechanics is here in Milwaukee and the surrounding area. They're gonna try to get over on you, and you end up trying to pay a car note. You got bad credit, you're gonna get one of them cars that be on the side of the road, and you're gonna be like, I'm not paying it. And guess what's gonna happen? You gonna mess your credit up. I'm gonna tell you something about Milwaukee. A lot of the people with messed up credit here is not because they bad with money. It's because of them cars. So this is what they do. Here, you could have no credit at all and they still gonna try to give you a bad deal on the car. And some people be desperate. They be like, well, I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna try to pay it off early, or I'm gonna move up in car, right? And the car end up on the side of the road. Who's gonna pay for a car they can't even drive? Most people ain't, right? So they get repossessions. And repossessions mess your credit up. Practically half the people here, or more than half, got repossession for this reason. These dudes is jerks. I'm gonna use the 80s terms. They'll sell you anything on a car note, and your credit score, they'll lie about your credit score. One time, I already had an agreement with my lender, right? I had an agreement with my lender. And I told the car place, just call them. They already said they're gonna do everything. They didn't want to give me the car. That racism, that scumbag behavior, this is why people be coming up short with these cars here. I'm telling you, man. The only people that's doing good with used cars here is the people who got lucky or know a good mechanic. So, I kind of got off subject. I got to get back on track. Man, this Walgreens ain't open. Oh, they open. Hope they. So, this is the reasons why you have to ignore people. Back to what I was saying. When they don't like you, they're not going to look at your car. Relatives do that stuff too. And you definitely got to ignore relatives practically all the time. They could be fat and they'll be calling you fat. They could have more gray hair than you and they'll be like, oh, yeah, man, what's up with all that gray? You be dyeing yours. I dye mine too. For myself, I could care less. I swear to you. I know you ain't supposed to swear. I do not dye my hair for other people. Somebody told me, well, you incorrect. They're going to underestimate. Let them try it. Let them try it. I can't beat everybody in the world, but I can dump a whole lot of these people on their neck. I got technique. So these young dudes could try it. They have. They tried me a lot of times. These young dudes done try me. But even with them, like if you in corrections, if you a police officer, if you a truck driver, you gonna go to them factories with them. Well, I was finna call them the RN. Them, let's say the racist Caucasians. They like a magnet for factories. If you a truck driver, you gonna sometimes have to go to them factories. Let them talk, man. Especially you bigger than them. You way bigger than these little dudes. They don't have a chance against you 9 times out of 10. They'll hit you in the face and you'll be like when when his Man of Steel mechanism was kicking in and Batman was hitting him and he was moving less and less like, y'all gotta excuse my neck. I got a little nerve issue in my neck. So if you see my head move funny, it's because like my posture, my nerves is like kind of compressed in certain part. You know how you get that tingle to the outside of your leg? That's because you're not laying right or you sit down too much, which I do for my work. It'll put your nerves in funny positions. Like the nerves in my neck, I probably need to see a chiropractor because my neck be moving funny sometimes. But you a truck driver. You know they gonna be trying to yell at you and stuff. Man, some of these truck drivers be huge. Just look at them and be like, you don't gotta talk to me like that, man. Look them right in their eyes. Remind them that this ain't slavery time. Remember how during that time you couldn't look people in the face? Don't go to their level. You know they can't beat you, man. 9 times out of 10. When a person can't beat you one-on-one, you really should ignore them in most cases. Like after you get your point across, be done. I done had dudes, young dudes, older dudes, mainly young dudes. The older dudes mostly, the main problem with them is they be simps and you gotta watch what you talk about. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk like you be putting women in their place, stuff like that. Don't do that with a lot of older guys, in particular the black one. You just gonna build resentment. That's why I say keep it shallow. But young dudes sometimes automatically think they could beat you because you older, but they don't realize that sometimes older dudes been fighting their whole life. And they can fight you to the death even when they tired. That's when that young cocky arrogance, they don't understand that sometimes. Especially when you bigger than them. There's some dudes, there was one dude in particular, he's a string bean. I think he was just so cocky, he didn't understand what possibly could have happened to him one-on-one. So, if you can't hurt me with your punches and I box, I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. If you can't throw me on the ground, and I'm just talking, I'm not a violent person, this is my point I'm making. This is why you have to ignore people sometimes. If you a young dude, you a string bean, you can't hurt me, you can't get me on the ground, and we in a fight, I'm coming after you. And I got power and speed in both hands. That's why I be thinking about this stuff. And I got into it with this dude and I'm thinking, I'm not finna fight him at work and risk going to jail, mess my kids up. People was trying to instigate it, trying to gaslight it, like he was really doing something. But if he can't hurt me with his punches, oh, and another thing, your punches is wild, and I see it, I'm gonna time mine. I'm just gonna lean back, let you throw a couple of them, run out of gas, and then I'm coming after. I'm coming after. So I'm thinking all this like this dude just talking. He just cocky. He just talking. He don't even know what he getting himself into. People will get into that at work. They'll think they know you, but they really don't. When they start hearing about things that might possibly put fear in them, they try to downplay it. Oh, he lying. Oh, they don't want to believe it because they want to believe that they can get you. And a dude could be from the suburbs. I had a dude, silver spoon, little chump, scared of the kids, talking behind my back. And I definitely confronted him when I was finna leave. I said, you had a lot to say. What you got to say now? And they was trying to act like I wouldn't have did it to the other dude. Let me tell you something. The main reason with this other person, it was petty. That number one. Number two, I know he just cocky. That's number two. And number three, I knew a lot of his family members. And they was cool, man. Think about it, man. If you cool with somebody's cousins, brothers, uncles, stuff like that, why would you fight them? Unless they attacked you first. If y'all just had a disagreement, why would you fight them? Then this dude going around still talking about, I don't like him, I don't F with him. I knew they was saying it. I didn't care. I still came to work. I didn't quit that job until management started doing weak stuff. The co-workers, it ain't nothing they could have did or said. It's certain things that make me quit jobs. And that's favoritism that spills over to me. Funny acting managers who nitpick, micromanage to the point where they trying to mess my record up. That's the type of stuff that'll make me quit. Like even in Texas, it was a conflict with one of the supervisors. I didn't quit until the supervisor over her start being unreasonable in regards to he knowing what's going on. They got to calling me when I wasn't there, like wondering if I did stuff because they didn't want to discipline the people they liked. That's why you have to ignore people. If you can't ignore them, then you need to set yourself up where you can leave. This is why you always have to save. Don't be one of them people spending all your money. These holidays come around, you spending extra money and not saving any. Don't be that person. Especially if you don't like your job or you don't like the people on your job. When you got kids, y'all break up, y'all divorce. You know she be starting stuff, whip out your phone and ignore her. Just have it recorded. Get your kids. If she don't get your kids when she's supposed to, get on the phone and call her. If you represented yourself, call the police. Tell them, it's my time with my kids. She's trying to start problems. Do a background check on any dude that these women move around your kids. And if you want your kids and he has deviancy, actual deviancy, or he has felonies or anything, you could get your kids. I done already researched. Because you know how most women try to say they don't like them pookies, but then they get with a dude and you check his record and he a pookie or an ex-pookie. Or he a panty waist. Remember panty waist from, what movie was that? With the karate dude. I think he was on Best of the Best with panty waist. So, you gotta know how to ignore people. I'm gonna wrap this up in 2 minutes. You gotta know when to ignore people. You gotta be able to take it when they ignore you. But don't let your ignore be ignorance. Ignore what you need to ignore. When people ignore you, that's fine. For instance, if you speak to somebody like once or twice and they don't say nothing, don't speak to them ever again like good morning, hello, none of that, until they speak to you first. I don't care if it's your boss. They can't fire you for that. If they do, it's ways that you can get some compensation. But don't keep speaking to nobody who don't speak to you. That little fake Christian stuff, that's not, I'm telling you, you gotta be careful with this stuff, man. People be having false teachings, false notions in their mind. Don't keep speaking to nobody who don't speak to you. Just make sure you not letting that negative energy get in your heart, in your mind. Tell yourself, I forgive them. I forgive them. They don't matter. What they think don't matter. I forgive them. Wait a minute, why is this? But anyway, we got more videos to come today, so stay tuned. This is The Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. This is my new series, dealing with people. Dealing with modern, we're going to call it dealing with people or dealing with modern day people. I think modern day people is better. Only thing is I might not use it because people automatically think women. These guys a problem too. Be all on YouTube. Poor communication skills. Poor people skills. But they know how to act. They remind me of some of them celebrities. They know how to act, but they don't know how to treat people. They know how to sing, but they don't know how to treat people. Anyway, thanks for watching.